A man who stabbed his ex-girlfriend's new lover to death in her bed and his friend who encouraged the attack have both been found guilty of murder. Caden Pryor knifed Harrison Tompkins, 25, in the chest, legs and back with a hunting knife in a brutal and frenzied attack in Crawley. On August 13, 2023, his friend Jason Curtis, 22, encouraged and assisted Pryor in the murder. During a trial at Chichester Crown Court, jurors heard Pryor, 23, was a jealous and controlling man who stormed into Alicia Parrin's flat with Curtis after hearing she had been out with another man.
Keep coming. Hands on your head. Hands on your head. Okay, is anyone else in here?
No one else is in there, sir.
Has anyone said the words yet?
No. Right. You're under arrest on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned some features of the law, and if you do so, may be given evidence. Did you understand what you've been arrested for?
I heard what you said, yeah.
Right, okay.
I don't understand now.
Okay, so at the moment you've been arrested on suspicion of murder.
Pryor was on a night out with Curtis for his birthday in London before the pair travelled to Miss Parrin's address in Arthur Road, Ifield, at around 5:30 a.m. Pryor and Curtis were found guilty of Mr. Tompkins' murder in unanimous verdicts. Prosecutor Alan Gardner, KC, had said Harrison Tompkins had no chance. The sudden onslaught was completely unexpected. He may well have been asleep when the defendant burst into the bedroom. Jurors heard how Pryor dropped the knife in the bedroom, punched Ms. Parrin, and walked out of the building where he rejoined Curtis, telling him to burn his clothes as they escaped. Curtis was hiding in bushes nearby when police arrested him, while Pryor was found by officers later that morning in his flat with a bag of clothes stained with Mr. Tompkins' blood.
Police, put your hands out to the sides! Do not move! Put your hands where I can see them! You're under arrest on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which will later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Pryor claimed that the hunting knife, which he owned, was already in Ms. Parrin's flat and used for DIY and cooking. But the prosecution said that when he travelled back to his own flat for the spare key to Miss Parrin's home, he also brought the knife with him. The trial heard how Pryor and Ms. Parrin had been in a relationship and had been living together in Pryor's flat in Three Bridges from around March 2023. Ms. Parrin alleged Pryor was violent and jealous in their relationship and had told her on one occasion that he would kill her if she was ever with somebody else. In another instance, Ms. Parrin said Pryor would sing a song to her with the lyric, "I wouldn't let you be with anybody else," which Pryor denied. In July 2023, Ms. Parrin got her own flat in Arthur Road, in a step towards breaking up with Pryor, and on August 11th, she told him their relationship was over. The court heard how Ms. Parrin sent messages to Pryor on the day before the murder saying, "Don't ever contact me again." But he still believed they were in a relationship. Ms. Parrin and Mr. Tompkins had got to know each other by working at the K2 Leisure Centre, and things had got flirtier between them in the weeks leading up to August 12th, when the pair decided to meet at a work colleague's leaving do. They were spotted at a pub and club in Crawley Town Centre by a mutual connection, Ella Stanford, who messaged Curtis on Snapchat that Miss Parrin was out with friends. Curtis replied, "Caden says to keep an eye out for her and see what she is doing." Jurors heard that Pryor was also sent a video of Ms. Parrin kissing another man in a club that night, and he messaged her saying, "Letting guys kiss you and that's absolutely wrong. I can literally see you." The prosecution said Pryor intended to go to Ms. Parrin's flat to catch her red-handed with another man. But Pryor claimed he went to her home at around 5 a.m. because he didn't like sleeping on arguments. He said Mr. Tompkins had jumped out of bed and a fight broke out between them, with them both reaching for the knife. However, Ms. Parrin told the court the 25-year-old lifeguard did not attack Pryor, and that at first she believed Pryor was punching Mr. Tompkins. but then she realized he had been stabbing him, and there was blood everywhere. Curtis did not give evidence during the trial, but the prosecution said Curtis assisted and encouraged Pryor in his murderous enterprise, including following Pryor into the bedroom where he watched the knife attack. Jurors heard how Ms. Parrin told police officers after the murder, "It's all my fault," and asked about this in court. She said, "Because if Harrison wasn't with me, he wouldn't be dead." Pryor of Hazelwick Avenue, Three Bridges, and Curtis of Lairdale Road in Lambeth, South London, both denied charges of murder and manslaughter of Mr. Tompkins. The pair were also both found guilty of having an offensive weapon, and Pryor was found guilty of assault by beating of Miss Parrin. Caden Pryor and Jason Curtis were sentenced to a minimum of 28 years and 22 years respectively for the murder of Harrison Tompkins.
Detective Constable Eddie Atlanta from the Major Crime Team, Sussex Police. So I'm pleased very much that we've been able to get the justice that Harrison so rightly and richly deserves today. I myself never got to meet Harrison, but I've learned through this investigation how dearly loved he was by his friends and his family. Harrison was killed in a frenzied attack that he had little chance to defend himself from. Now Pryor and Curtis will now spend a considerable amount of their time in prison, and rightly so. On behalf of Harrison, his friends and his family, I'd like to thank everybody involved in this investigation.
Please be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content here at the Madchester Insider. Thank you.